Okay, elves, put the tools down. We're going to take a little break here from toy making. Woo! It's time for the Home Show on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. My name's Tom Bamford. Thank you for being here. It's the holiday season, and, you know, we got the elves here in the Home Show workshop, building toys and making ready for the festive holiday season. You know what, though? If you're looking for information about home repair, renovation, design, and remodeling, this is the place. We've got a show for the do-it-yourselfer, the buy-it-yourselfer, and for folks who never, ever want to touch a hammer or a shovel. Maybe that's you. And we bring you the people, the products, and the services to fill every need in making your home more comfortable and enjoyable to live in. And we're brought to you by All Source Chimney Service. All Source Chimney Service. Maybe you like that nice warm fire at this time of year. You're going to particularly like it tomorrow when the wind chill factor is down in the teens, aren't you? And you haven't had that chimney inspected or cleaned in how long? Oh, it's not too late. Call All Source Chimney Service, 855-468-2244, 855-468-2244, or go online, allsourcekc.com, and have them come out and check out your chimney, for heaven's sake. Hey, I hope you were listening in last week. We had I tried to share with you some great holiday tips and ideas. I've got more of those for you today, but I've got one of my very, very favorite guests is joining us. That's going to be in the next segment. That's Dr. Andrea Ferrell, my veterinarian, the veterinarian who's taken care of two of our cats and two of our dogs. And what a wonderful blessing she has been, not just to our animals, but to us as well. I'm looking forward to that. In the second segment of the show, we're going to bring her in and we're going to chat about that. Now, if you missed last week's show, or if you missed part of this week's show and you want to catch up on the show, then you can listen again on our podcast. The podcast is at 710kcmo.com. That's 710kcmo.com. And if you have a question, maybe you've got a question for Dr. Ferrell, we're going to try and take some email questions today. Send me an email, homeshow at 710kcmo.com. Homeshow at 710kcmo.com. I would really appreciate that. How about a couple of quick ideas to get your home ready for, well, let's give you one. Here's a good, you don't have time to do any kind of remodeling. Those guests are going to be here next week. How about this? How about either new furniture or new furniture covers? What a great idea. A fresh look in any room you want. Our friend Jen Bertrand would recommend that. And don't be embarrassed to do something a little dramatic in terms of color or style. That can be very important as you dress up your home for the holidays. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I've got my veterinarian, Dr. Andrea Ferrell, will be with us. This is The Home Show on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM.
KCMO, Kansas City's home of Mark Levin. Mark Levin.
So the bigger problem or the bigger issue is the welfare state. It's the welfare state, whether we're talking about longtime American citizens, Hispanics, Asians, blacks, whites, everything in between. It's the welfare state that's killing the Republican Party, just as it's killing the nation.
A great one. Weekdays 5 to 8 on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. You're tuned in to KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM.
Touch her heart this holiday season with a 14-karat gold charm bracelet from Shane Company. Personalize it with your choice of charms. Charms celebrate special occasions, moments, or memories. Mini Shane Company charms are perfect for Christmas. I'm especially fond of our old-fashioned sleigh with natural sapphires in white, green, and pink. It's really cute. We also have many customizable charms, which we can mount with your choice of a diamond, ruby, or sapphire. For an even more personalized gift, we'll engrave her charms with your message. As the years go by, add more charms to her bracelet for each significant milestone. Go to Shanko.com on your phone, tablet, or computer to match our charms to her personality.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company, a half-mile east of Highway 69 at 135th and Metcalf in the shops at Deer Creek Woods. Open weekdays till 8, Saturday and Sunday till 5, online at shaneco.com.
My name is Trina O'Neill, and I had the gastric bypass surgery. Before surgery, I weighed right at 400 pounds. I'm at 135 right now. My weight loss has improved my day-to-day life. I get to do things that I've always wanted to do.
Minimally Invasive Surgery Hospital. Call 913-322-7401 for a free consultation.
The hospital is great. It's not your average hospital. They look like hotel suites, actually. It's definitely a one-on-one experience. The support system is awesome. I've lost close to 300 pounds since surgery, and it's been great.
Minimally Invasive Surgery Hospital, accepting Medicare and Missouri Medicaid. Get your life back. Learn more about weight loss surgery at laplose.com.
It's a hospital, but it's more like a family environment. You go in, you're part of the family. You don't feel like a patient. You call the after-hours numbers. If you have a problem, you get the doctor. You don't get a nurse. You know, if you want a family experience, that's where you need to go.
Attend a weight loss seminar December 15th at 10 a.m. Call to register 913-322-7401.
Hey, Kansas City, Dave Ramsey here. In 2013, the government will require all newly installed furnaces to be at least 90% efficient. As a homeowner, that means higher costs to install, and if your furnace is located in a furnished basement, attic, or crawl space, it could cost you thousands of dollars to replace. There are only a few months left to install a standard 80% efficient furnace. So call Lee's Summit Heating and Cooling for a free estimate at 816-525-7218.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Do you want to learn how to make a ton of money flipping houses right here in the Topeka, Lawrence area? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple two-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. Hi, my name is Than Merrill, and I'm the star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Topeka and Lawrence area who want to learn how to consistently make a lot of money per deal in your spare time without using any of your own money. Topeka and Lawrence are perfect markets for my system. And next week, I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you can learn how to make a lot of money flipping houses in your spare time.
Interested candidates can get 2 free tickets to the workshop by calling 1-800-339-3304. Seating is extremely limited, so call right now to get your 2 free tickets at 1-800-339-3304. That's 1-800-339-3304.
Know why I pulled you over, ma'am?
I'm sorry, officer. I know I was speeding, but...
No buts about it, ma'am.
But it's Sears one-day sale.
Seriously? Follow me!
Whatever it takes, get to Sears one-day sale with Friday Preview. Find great gift deals like up to 50% off all mechanics tool sets. Jeans for the family starting at $14.99. This is how to gift. This is Sears. Plus, members can get $10 in Shop Your Way points when you spend $50 or more. Members earn points on qualifying purchases subject to full program terms available at shopyourway.com. Exclusions apply. See store for details. Prices may vary in Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico. Offer ends 12/8/12.
This is Kansas City's talk station, Talk Radio 710, now on FM at 103.7.
How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the white.
It is such a pleasure to welcome back to the home show my favorite veterinarian, Dr. Andrea Ferrell. Dr. Ferrell, thanks for coming back.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
We're coming into the holiday season, and I know that there are some people out there that are going to be tempted to bring home a new puppy or a new kitty for the Christmas season.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea?
You know, it can be, especially kittens and cats. Most veterinarians recommend kitties stay indoors these days anyway. And so if you're providing a lot of interactive toys and playtime, that's a good option for winter or for holidays because you don't have to worry about being outside in the snow or anything like that. if you get a puppy or a dog, you do really have to consider, is this pet housebroken? Because if the weather's bad, you're going to be out every couple hours walking that dog in snow or sleet or whatever it is. And sometimes they are more hesitant to be outside and go out to the yard and do those things if the weather's really bad. So you have to kind of think about what you're getting into. Housebreaking
a dog in the midst of the holiday season or even towards the tail end of the holiday season, that could be a real nightmare.
It really can. I know that I'm really, really busy at this time of year. A lot of people are doing things with family or traveling, and you have to really think about, are you going to have, one, is it going to be miserable being outside? And two, do you have the time to do that right now?
Right. Do you have the time? I think that's the big key. I can't imagine, with grandsons and granddaughters and my grown children, and I can't imagine bringing a puppy home. But maybe a good idea for those who would be tempted to do that. Maybe it would be a great idea is to gift them a dog or a cat in the form of a promise that after the holidays are done, we'll go and we'll find a wonderful new pet for the family. In regards to that, let's talk about how do we go about let's say I want a dog. It seems to me that's what most people sorry, cat people. I don't want to offend you. I have lived and loved cats my entire life, but right now what we have is a dog. So what do I need to look for? What are the considerations I need to make when I go to choose the breed of dog or the size of dog?
The biggest thing I think people need to look at is your lifestyle, how many people in your family are going to be involved in caring for the pet, and what time commitment there is going to be. If you, especially at the holidays, if you decide, hey, we're going to promise the kids a dog for after Christmas and we're going to go look for that dog afterwards when the holidays are over, you still have to consider, are the kids going back to school? Does that mean you're going to be in charge of that pet?
Oh, yeah.
So you need to think about how much time you want to commit, because dogs do, and again, we're using dogs as an example right here. Dogs need exercise, even small dogs. So you have to provide that time commitment. You have to consider financially, what kind of care is it going to need? What vaccines is it going to need? What food will it need to be fed? And you have to consider all of that and add to your budget. So those are big things. And you have to think about the age of your kids. If you have kids, do you travel a lot? That's going to really factor into what size dog you get.
If someone has small children, is a really small dog a good idea?
You know, if you go too small, that can be hard because kids don't always understand the balance between snuggling or petting a pet and what can be too hard, or could hurt the pet. So you probably want to go either kind of a small to medium or medium dog for small children, because it's not going to be overpowering to the child, but vice versa. And, the other way, the child won't potentially hurt the pet on accident.
Is there any one breed or a couple of breeds that make particularly good family dogs?
One of my favorite breeds for families, especially if they have small children, one of my favorite breeds are Shih Tzus.
Really?
Yeah, I really like them. They are, in general, now every breed has variations, but in general, they're typically mild-mannered. They're not as yappy as some small breeds are, and they're not so high energy that you have to provide tons and tons of exercise and fit that into your schedule. A nice walk every day is plenty for them. Also, they being smaller dogs, they don't require a lot of food, the food amounts. So all of that really adds into the budget. If you're trying to feed a Great Dane, that's a lot of money every month just to feed them. So Shih Tzu is nice for a family.
I can't imagine. And Great Danes they're really wonderful.
They are.
The few I have known, and I have never lived with one, but the few I have known are just wonderful, noble kind of creatures.
They really are. I love Great Danes. They're great dogs, but they are hugely expensive. They do have some health issues. Again, feeding them on its own requires its own budget.
Oh my. Exactly. I'll have to take out a loan on the house.
That's right. That's right. But they are really nice dogs. I enjoy that breed quite a bit.
The sad thing though to me is they live such a short life, relatively speaking. I'm so used to we had one dog, and we had to put her to sleep because of an accident. But other than that, every dog we've ever owned has lived to be 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. And I kind of look at that, and I think a Great Dane, 5 or 6 seems to be.
We are seeing them 7 and 8 and even a little bit older now because we have so much more preventative care than we used to. But typically, the larger the dog, the shorter the lifespan.
Right.
As you get to tiny dogs, that's not true. But those really big breed dogs, they do tend to have shorter lifespans.
How do you feel about greyhounds and the greyhound rescue thing?
I think that greyhounds are really wonderful dogs. They're gentle giants. They are the sweetest dogs. They tend to be calm. They certainly still need exercise.
Right.
They tend to be calm dogs, though. They're great with families. Just really nice dogs.
Just keep them away from rabbits.
Right. Keep them on a strong leash.
Yeah, there you go. You're listening to The Home Show on KCMO, Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. Our guest today is my veterinarian, Andrea Ferrell. She works at a lot of places around town and will be part of a new veterinary clinic somewhere here in the future, and we'll talk about that when the appropriate time comes. There are a number of places. If we decide that we are going to get a pet, a cat or a dog, in this case, there are a number of places I can go to find that ideal pet. Now,
Absolutely.
Now the first thing that I could do is I might have a neighbor with an extra cat, but that's a separate circumstance. The 3 places in particular that I want to talk about are animal shelters, pet stores, and through the classifieds in the paper. Okay. Let's start with animal shelters. Well, I talk about wayside waifs a lot on this radio station. I send them my money. I believe in the things that they do. They are a no-kill pet shelter. But there are still some things about getting a dog from a shelter that we need to be aware of. What are those considerations?
Absolutely. I am a big proponent of adopting dogs from shelters and rescue groups. They need homes, and they are so grateful to be in your home. You typically can get a great dog. You do have to think about what care has the dog already received, and once that pet comes home, what are you going to need to do immediately? Has it had all its shots? Is it spayed or neutered? Most shelters take care of that, but you do want to make sure that's all done. The other thing is you want to find out why the pet is in the shelter. Some of them have just been found and there's not a lot of history to know, but some of them may have been returned or given up by a family, and you want to find out why that was. Was it just too high energy and you exercise a lot, so that's going to be fine for you? Or, did the kitty have a medical problem? You want to find that stuff out and just make sure that that's something that fits into your life, whatever that issue might be. And then nice thing about the shelter too is you want to spend some time with the pet, go visit with the pet. Most shelters, if you take a pet home and it doesn't work, will take the pet back.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should adopt an animal with the thought that it's returnable. They're not, but it's nice to work with someone who wants that pet to be in the best home possible, whatever that means.
Sure.
But things to think about, I think, most are observing the behavior and finding out what care it has been given and what's the history. Where did it come from and why is it at the shelter?
Is it necessarily a good or a bad thing to look maybe for an older dog or cat?
It
6, 7, 8 years old, perhaps?
Absolutely, it can be, especially if you're not at a point in your life where you want to be house training and outside all the time. Or if you want to see what that pet's behavior is, an adult dog may have a more established habits than a puppy. A puppy might change a little bit over time. They may start out kind of calm as they adjust to a new home, and then suddenly they're exuberant and jumping around a lot. An adult dog, you're going to be seeing in the shelter a little bit more closely the same behaviors you're going to see at home. And then again, if they're house trained, that's always a nice bonus.
Yeah, that is a nice bonus. Okay, the next place is a pet store. Now we hear the advertisements. The ASPCA says, whatever you do, don't get a pet from a pet store because all pet store dogs and cats come from puppy mills. I guess it still amazes me that there are such places as puppy mills out there, but they really do exist.
They do, and it's a frustrating circumstance because they're hard to regulate. I think that I probably don't have the knowledge to tell you every pet store is a puppy mill pet store or not, but I can tell you that We have seen a lot of puppy mill puppies go into a pet store.
Yeah.
So what I would just recommend is that if you are in a pet store and you see a pet that you think is the right fit for you, find out where that pet store gets their pets from. And if they don't know, that's a warning sign to me. I would say I'd be concerned about where that pet comes from. If they do know, then I wouldn't stop there. I would go research that place or that breeder and find out, well, what kind of care are they giving? How many pets do they have in their facility? And you can kind of get an idea of, is this a puppy mill or is this a reputable breeder or provider?
That's good advice. Our guest is Dr. Andrea Ferrell, my veterinarian, and we're talking about pets and pets for the holiday and some places that you might want to go and look for a dog or a cat. The third place I do want to talk about, and I will confess here to everybody, this is how my wife Susan chose our little Rosie. Our little Rosie is she's a mix. She's a Papillon Havanese mix. For those of you that are inclined, go online. You can see. And she's a cute little dog. But we saw her in the classifieds in the paper. Is that a great idea?
You know, again, that can be good or bad. And it's all about the research you do. If you see a classified ad for a neighbor or somewhere that's just a family that had puppies or kittens and you're thinking about that, you still just want to check with them about what care has been provided at this point. And if you decide to get that puppy or kitten, ask for the veterinary records. Where did these puppies, for example, where did they get dewormed? Have they had vaccinations? Right. And get it in writing, get the veterinary receipts or records. The other thing is if you're going to the classifieds and it's a breeder who is advertising in the classifieds, again, same kind of thing. Research that breeder, ask for references, see the facility before you take a pet home and get the records from whatever care they've had.
And of course, nowadays you can go online, you get on your computer and you can, it's endless. Yeah. The list of things. Although I felt a little reassured in doing that kind of a search because a lot of what seemed to be the more reputable breeders, and I'm talking here mostly about purebred dogs. Mm-hmm. They will state right up front on the opening page of their website the way they treat their dogs or cats, that they raise them, and there are a number of places that raise one litter at a time, right, that have a big open yard for them to run in and things, and you can even go online and watch. I was fascinated watching these puppies. It was good, and so there's yet another resource.
There is, and you can get online these days, and there's just literally thousands and thousands of pets, and that's another thing to think about. It's a great point when you find a breeder who you love the stuff they have on their website, and the puppies look healthy and the facility looks nice. I have found I've had several clients who have driven long distances to pick up puppies or even met the breeder halfway, and I would just encourage you to only get a puppy from where you can actually see the facility.
Okay.
The website,
Good
of
advice.
course, might present some really nice stuff, but we want to make sure that those pictures aren't 10 years old.
Well, there are people out there in the world that will post videos that have nothing to do with their business.
Unfortunately, there is.
So I think that's a great caution. If you can visit, and Susan drove, it was 2.5 hours, but she did drive down and saw the puppy.
You guys got a wonderful dog out of it.
Yeah,
so
we
Rosie
did indeed.
is adorable.
We're going to take a little break, folks, and when we come back, I've got some of your email questions that I'm going to ask the doctor. You want to know about the things going on with your pets, and this is a regular feature on our radio program. So I want to encourage you. If you have questions for my veterinarian and the veterinarian that would be glad to assist you, Dr. Andrea Ferrell, you can send them to 710kcmo.com. It's home show at 710kcmo.com. Bear in mind, it's difficult most of the time for the doctor to make an accurate diagnosis when she cannot actually see and touch and listen to the pet. But we do the best we can. When we come back, we'll get a few of those questions answered for you. You're listening to The Home Show on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM.
Coming up Monday on the show, I've got even more on these unemployment numbers. They went down, right? Well, because 540,000 people dropped out of the labor force. But wait, it really went down from 4% into the 3s. Wait till you hear for what group of people. Oh, but wait again. Gallup says unemployment is really back up over 8%. We'll get through all of it for you on the KCMO Morning Show.
Weekday mornings from 5 till 9 on KCMO Talk Radio 710. And now,
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The U.S. striking a blow in the fight against terror. The head of a network likely connected to the attack against our consulate in Benghazi, Libya, is captured in Egypt.
U.S. officials have not been able to interrogate him yet. But here's what we do know. He's a former Egyptian jihad member. He was in prison in Egypt. He was released in March 2011 during the Arab Spring. He's now the leader of the Jamal Network, and he's been setting up terror training camps in Libya and Egypt.
Fox's Molly Henneberg. Pop sensation Psy apologizing after coming under fire for participating in anti-U.S. protests a few years ago.
Park Jae-sang, as he's really called, rapped in a 2004 concert about killing Yankees who'd tortured Iraqi captives. A couple of years prior, he smashed a model of a U.S. tank on stage over the hefty deployment of American soldiers to South Korea.
Fox's Dominic DiNatale. Fox News. We report, you decide.
your KCMO forecast from KCTV5.
Cloudy skies here on our Saturday with a high of 47 this afternoon. We have a 30% chance for rain late tonight with temperatures falling through the 40s this evening. Cold and blustery on Sunday with a 40% chance for rain and a few snow showers. A high of 32 tomorrow with a wind chill in the upper teens. I'm KCTV5 meteorologist Tom Walks.
This is the Wall Street Journal Report. I'm Jennifer Kishinka. Want to raise or lower the shade without getting up? There's an app for that. High-tech apps are the latest trend in fancy homes. Apps that can adjust the volume on your TV, feed the fish, or heat the pool. Competition among home automation companies has become especially fierce over the past 2 or 3 years as smartphones and tablets have advanced. Now, national companies like Creston, RTI, and Control4 make apps that run on Apple and Android operating systems. 9 of 10 homeowners who have installed this technology in their homes use mobile devices, with Apple the overwhelmingly dominant player. As states with 50 different controllable zones are not uncommon. With just a touch, homeowners can warm the driveway in anticipation of snowfall, feed the cat, or change oxygen levels in their high-altitude ski lodges. An app can also control closed-circuit thermal cameras that are able to capture images at night. I'm Jennifer Kishinka with the Wall Street Journal Report.
Did you know that certain gold and silver coins can be added to your retirement accounts? It's a fact. For years, investors have been adding popular coins like the gold and silver American Eagles to their IRAs and old 401ks. More importantly, gold and silver have quadrupled in value within the past 10 years. Major banks and credible analysts around the world are forecasting even more demand for both gold and silver in the coming years. Isn't it about time for you to consider adding gold to your retirement accounts? When it comes to adding physical metals to your retirement accounts, no one makes it easier and faster than American Bullion. Call now for your free gold guide at 800-664-8864. Find out how to add U.S. minted gold and silver coins to your IRA and old 401k. Call the most trusted name in the industry today, American Bullion. 800-664-8864. Call for your free gold guide. 800-664-8864.
This Christmas, would you rather your sweetheart have coal in her stocking or diamonds? Scott's Diamond Design is here to help. And when you buy your most sought-after design jewelry, Scott's will also fill your stocking with the free iPod, iPad, or Kindle. Scott's Diamond Designs at 103rd and 69 Highway. So turn that Christmas coal into diamonds with Scott's Diamond Designs. A sparkle so fine. Scott's Diamond Designs.
Worried that your old roof may not make it through the next storm? Dave Ramsey here. Sounds like it's time to call my friends over at Lee's Summit Roofing. But what if you don't live in Lee's Summit? Then you should still call Lee's Summit Roofing. They're going to give you exceptional value at a fair price no matter where you live. From Lee's Summit to Overland Park and covering the entire metro. Call 816-554-8585. That's 554-8585 or online at leesummitroofing.com.
KCMO, feeding your mind 24/7. Information you trust, powered by Fox News. KCMO Talk Radio 710, now at 103.7 FM.
That's right. We've gone to the dogs here on the Home Show. I love this particular version. It is fabulous. This half of the Home Show is brought to you by Gutter Cover. GutterCoverKC.com. The folks at Gutter Cover want you never to have to get up on that ladder again and clean out those filthy gutters. It's a mess, and it's dangerous, particularly for those of us that are not in quite the marvelous condition that we think we are. Oh, let's get back to our guest here on the Home Show, Dr. Andrea Ferrell. She is my veterinarian, and she's been taking care of my pets for 6, 7 years.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm trying to remember.
I think 6.
I think it's been 6 years now, and what a wonderful assistance. And you know, with a veterinarian treats not just the dog, the cat, or the bird, or the small animal, but I think a really good veterinarian treats the entire family. And I certainly must say that you do that well.
Well, thank you very much. Well, you guys are easy to do that with. You're fun to work with.
So are you saying that there are some people that are not as easygoing and reasonable as we are?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, you know what? I've got some emails here, and these are good questions. They're not obvious to me. So let's go to the emails. We got this one from John out in Raytown. And he says, how can I tell if my dog is pregnant without visiting the vet?
And my short answer is, well, you can't easily. And I would recommend very strongly that you actually make a visit to the veterinarian. If you have witnessed your pet, with another of the opposite sex, and you are concerned that she's become pregnant, really the best thing you can do is go to the veterinarian. Early on, there are some actual hormone testing that you can do similar to what you do in a person. It's a blood test. And then as the pregnancy develops, you can actually palpate the uterus and feel some differences there that could indicate puppies, or kittens, if that be the case. Mm-hmm. And as time progresses, most gestations for pets are around 63 days. And so when you hit about the 45-day mark, you can see actually the skeletons on X-ray.
Really?
You
wow.
can. It's really cool. And then earlier, I think that around the 21-day mark or so, you can actually ultrasound and see them relatively well.
How neat.
Yeah.
It's this really is cool. I guess this is a foolish question, but it's something I just don't know. What's the gestation period for dogs and cats?
It usually is around 63 days. It can vary, certainly by a few days or even a week, but it's usually around that
around
period.
63 days. So a little over 2 months, and then you've got
quite a bit shorter. Yeah. There's less preparation time there than for a
You've
person.
got less time to get ready. I've got another email here, and this is from Kathy out in Paola, and she says, whenever I take my dog to the vet, it's kind of a struggle because he's very nervous. How do I get my dog to relax when we're going to the vet?
There are several things you can do. First of all, don't only put your pet, dog or cat, in the car when they're going to the vet. Take them other places that are fun, that have a good destination.
Take them to the park to chase the ball.
A friend's house.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Oh,
because you don't want them to know the car means we're going to the vet and
exactly. I'm going to get poked.
Exactly. Same thing with the carrier. You know, if you're going to put your cat in a carrier to go to the vet, same thing. Don't only put your cat in the carrier when you're going to the vet. You might leave the carrier open on occasion, put some food in there and let them go in and out so that carrier doesn't mean trip to the vet to them.
Oh, okay.
So those are all
plan.
Really good options. There also are some different pheromone collars and wipes that you can wipe the inside of a carrier with, those kinds of things that are very calming to pets.
Oh, okay.
Similar to like what their mother would sort of exude, sort of a perfume from us or something like that. And those are very calming to pets. And if your pet is just really severely anxious, it's a good idea to give your veterinarian a call beforehand and say, do I need a sedative? Is it that bad?
Right.
Because you don't want them to be so worked up by the time they get to the vet that the vet appointment itself
Well,
is,
and
is really scary.
I've known one dog and two cats that got so nervous going to the vet, their hair started to fall out.
Yeah.
On the way.
Certainly nerves will make them sort of blow their coat a bit.
Right.
And to some degree that's normal. But
Okay.
if you're just seeing huge hairballs,
Exactly.
the nerves might be a little too high.
Okay.
The other thing is when you go into your vet clinic, most vet clinics are clean and they're quiet. Any boarding dogs and things like that should be further back so that the appointments in the exam rooms are not hearing other animals.
Oh,
and so that can
okay.
be important too. Is your vet clinic relatively quiet so that your pet's not nervous? Are the people, do they move slow? Are they gentle with the pet? That kind of thing, just to allow the pet to sort of acclimate before shots are given.
You're listening to The Home Show on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. My name's Tom Bamford, and we're talking to my veterinarian, Dr. Andrea Ferrell, and we're answering some of your email questions. You can send me a question. homeshow@710kcmo.com. homeshow@710kcmo.com. And here's a question from Sarah in Kansas City. She notes it as Kansas City North, up north of the river. And she says, I have a new dog. When is the right time to take my dog to the vet?
I think that as soon as you get a new dog, within the first few days, you want to visit your veterinarian. Have them check your dog over. Just make sure there's no health issues. Make sure they are up to date on all the preventative care. You've got the appropriate heartworm preventions and flea and tick preventions. Make sure all of that is up to date. And more importantly, give that veterinarian a baseline for what your pet looks like. So
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So if there are changes in 6 months that we may not have known were abnormal for that dog because we'd never seen them before, you could see changes over that 6 month period that
Sure.
you may not have known were there before. So it's always a good idea to get right to the vet, get a baseline, find out where you are on vaccinations and do you have all the preventatives you need and that kind of thing.
Okay, now, with an older dog, and maybe I'm between visits, my wife Susan and I schedule regular visits to the veterinarian. Some people don't. Some people just don't think that's important at all. They might go for the shots once a year, but between visits to the vet, when do I absolutely know that my pet needs to go, like now, to see the veterinarian?
Well, I think that anything out of the ordinary that lasts more than 24 hours, it's a good idea to, at the very least, call your veterinarian. Every now and then a pet will eat something in the yard. They might throw up once, and then it's never a problem again. If you see repeated vomiting, repeated diarrhea, ongoing cough, lethargy, or just really being less active than normal for more than 24 hours, any of that is a sign you need to probably get in to see your veterinarian, or at the very least give them a call and say, hey, this is what's going on. What should I do? Things that mean get to your veterinarian right now are bleeding, significant bleeding, not just I broke a toenail, but a cut or laceration that's bleeding, collapse of any kind, whether or not they're conscious. You can have, seizure type activity or just collapse as though their back has been injured. Any kind of collapse needs to go to the veterinarian immediately. Those are big ones. Those are big ones to get there now.
We owe that to our
absolutely.
pets at the very least. Our pets are such a huge joy in our lives, even as much as our little Rosie drives me crazy from time to time.
No.
She has such a wonderful effect on the whole family when we visit, and after, of course, she's calmed down a bit. She tends to be a little anxious when people first arrive, although we're working on that slowly but surely. Which leads me to a question, another email from a listener, Alan in Lenexa, and he says, I have a wonderful golden retriever who is really relatively calm, but when I take him out walking, every once in a while he encounters another dog and he gets really aggressive. Is this a sign of something? What do I do about this?
If it's random dogs. It's not every dog he sees. There may just be a certain behavior of that dog or that owner even that's with that dog, or a certain smell or something that is upsetting to your dog. Some things that you may want to just start with are making sure you have the appropriate collar and leash. If your dog is somewhat aggressive and they're lunging or really barking loudly, you probably want to go to something like a gentle leader, which actually fits over the muzzle and then around the neck, around the back of the head. And the muzzle loop is not tight. It doesn't prohibit biting or barking or eating even.
Right.
It just allows you control.
We have one
Yeah,
for Rosie,
they're
and I
wonderful.
find it because she tends to lunge when she's on the leash.
So when they do that, it pulls their nose downward,
Right.
which makes them
And it's
stop.
not injurious.
It's not at
but
all.
it does, but it's uncomfortable.
It just makes them look down, so they're not looking at whatever they were barking at. The other thing you can do is if you see a dog coming and you know your pet on occasion or all the time, either one, barks at other dogs or becomes aggressive, is carry some treats with you, something your dog really likes, and have them sit and stay and repeat, continue to give them treats as they sit and stay. And sometimes you can draw their focus to what you're doing, allow that dog to pass, and you've now rewarded calm behavior as another animal's passing, and they'll start to learn, hey, it's way better if I am getting treats than if I'm barking at this dog.
Exactly. If I act calm, I get a treat. Oh, that's good. Now I'll have to remember every time I act calm, I'm going to expect a treat from everybody.
A cookie for Tom.
That's it. Our guest today on the Home Show has been Dr. Andrea Ferrell. And I want to say thank you to all of you who sent your emails in. Now, Dr. Ferrell is going to be back with us again, so get ready for that. You can send your questions anytime you'd like to homeshow@710kcmo.com. Homeshow@710kcmo.com. And I'll just compile them and I'll have them ready for her in her next visit. Dr. Ferrell, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
KCMO, Kansas City's home of Sean Hannity.
Massively incompetent, but you see on two separate huge issues here, we've got corrupt as well. We're at the most dangerous time in our political history in terms of the balance of power and the role the media plays and whether we maintain a free democracy or not.
Hannity, weekdays 2 till 5 on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM.
Hey, Kansas City, are you ready to take your leadership to the next level? Then join me, Dave Ramsey, on March 6th for the Entree Leadership One-Day event. Get your seat now at DaveRamsey.com.
Hear Dave Ramsey weekdays 9 to 11 on KCMO Talk Radio.
You wake up, you go to work, you pick up kids, you go holiday shopping, you travel, you meet deadlines, and you provide for your family. Frankly, you're stressed out, and for good reason. When the daily anxiety piles up, you become groggy, sleepless, and have difficulty staying in shape. It gets harder to stay alert, active, and happy. Dr. Evan Mladenoff, a local holistic doctor and former Kansas City Chiefs game day doctor, understands the importance of a balanced mind and body, which is why he developed the natural remedy, I Stressed Out. It works on cortisol levels to help improve performance in any endeavor. Athletes, doctors, professionals, and folks like you are discovering the power of I Stressed Out. Go to istressedout.com for testimonials, articles, and to order Dr. Mladenoff's revolutionary I Stressed Out. Live the daily pursuit of optimal performance and get on top of your game. Visit istressedout.com. That's the letter I, stressedout.com. Free samples at the Mladenoff Clinic, Metcalf and 110th Street, until December 24th. 913-491-1071.
This holiday season, don't say ho, 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 holy cow when you get that credit card statement instead of saying ho, 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 happy holidays, because you closed your loan with Vincent Mortgage and you were able to get presents for everyone, even your mother-in-law, without having to charge up those credit cards. Hi folks, this is Ray Vincent, founder of Vincent Mortgage Group, the name you know and trust. You know there's nothing better than being able to give a present to a loved one and know that you didn't have to go deeper into debt. Folks, this is a common goal among many of our customers. This time of year, we not only accomplish this goal, but we do it fast. And we're friendly about doing it. Yep, I always say that's simply what we do. Accomplish your goals, not everybody else's goals. We want to do what you want done. So give Vincent Mortgage Group a call today and make your holiday season the happiest it really can be. 913-344-9999. 913-344-9999. Or visit us online at GoSeeRay.com.
License number MC 0001599.
Shawnee Heartland respects and honors our senior population. For the past 7 years, we've been giving seniors an intimate stroll down memory lane. We call it Love in the Afternoon. With a fine cuisine and exceptional musical programming, Love in the Afternoon takes place at 3 locations around town. Call 913-248-6688 to reserve your tickets, or visit ShawneeHeartlandAL.com. Shawnee Heartland's not a giant corporation. We're family.
Catch your favorite comics live at Stanford & Sons Comedy Club. Since 1979, Stanford & Sons Comedy Club has featured legends like Jerry Seinfeld. Laugh your way to the bank. SweetJack.com nabbed up to 60% off tickets.
Tired of the long commute and spending your paycheck on gas? Check out EPA's Best Workplaces for Commuters. Employers making every day Earth Day by offering you benefits like transit passes, van pools, and telework programs. They save you money, stress, and save the environment. Visit bwc.gov. Ask your employer to get on the list of best workplaces for commuters. Cleaning the air and saving energy, one commute at a time. From the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and this station.
With an industry-leading distribution network, Grainger can save you tons of downtime by offering over 900,000 products, many ready to ship right when you need them. In fact, 99% of items ordered ship same day. So fast, the International Acronym Committee is considering changing ASAP to ASAG for as soon as Grainger. At least they would be considering it if there were such a committee. To help keep your business running efficiently, call clickgrainger.com or stop by a branch today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The KCMO Morning Show.
He was not president, and he has not been presidential.
Greg Knapp, mornings 5 to 9 on KCMO Talk Radio 710. Now on FM at 103.7.
Welcome back to the Home Show. And this is KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. What a joy it is. I just really enjoy every time Dr. Ferrell comes to visit us. And again, if you have, she'll be back next month. And if you have pet questions, please send them to us. Now, because all I have is a dog right now, who's apparently listening to this radio program. I have actually 2 faithful listeners, my wife and my dog. And I have you as well, don't I? I certainly appreciate that. But if you do have a question, send them to me. Home show at 710kcmo.com. Cats. Send me questions about cats, because I don't live with a cat now, so I've forgotten all the madness having to do with living with a cat. All I'm concerned about is the madness in living with our funny little dog. You know, if you like, you can listen to this radio show and every other radio program on KCMO through your cell phone. iHeartRadio is the name of the app. Go to your app store and download iHeartRadio and listen to us. You could listen to us 24/7 while you're not actually on your phone talking to people. And that would be strange, but there are those who would do that. I'll remind you that our program is brought to you by All Source Chimney Service and Gutter Cover. AllSourceKC.com. Get your chimney inspected. Or go to GutterCoverKC.com and never have to climb up that ladder to clean out those gutters. Again, lifetime warranty on that product, by the way. Now, here's a story. You know, I'm always scouring the Internet for important news having to do with home improvement. Now, here's a story from Southern California. A couple in Southern California, they are accused of taking a handyman hostage and forcing him to do fix-it jobs around the house. They allegedly lured the handyman to a house where, he says, they beat him and threatened to kill him if he didn't do some repair work, including fixing a broken door and the dishwasher. And that wasn't all, because when that was done, they say the suspects forced the handyman into his own truck and began driving over to a relative's house for more repair work. They stopped at a gas station to fuel up and buy some snacks. The kidnappers. This is true. And the handyman was able to make his escape. Now, the reason that these folks kidnapped the handyman, according to his testimony to the sheriff in Southern California, is that he had previously done work for one of the suspect's mothers, but that it didn't go well. And my question is, why on earth would you kidnap a guy who'd done bad work to do more work? Just go on. You can use Yelp. You can use Angie's List. Give him a bad write-up. Although, there's a contractor. I'm not sure where it is. I was reading the story earlier today, and I had other things to do, so I skipped right past it. There's a contractor somewhere who's suing someone for $750,000 because of a bad write-up they put online. So I guess you just gotta be careful about that stuff, don't you? Oh, well. Yeah, we live in a time of litigation and legality, don't we? If you enjoy, not litigation and legality, but if you enjoy automobiles, you're going to want to stay here, because immediately following the home show is my friend Danny Z and my other friend Little John, and they're going to talk about automobiles. They're from Country Hill Motors, and it's the Auto Advocates, and they'll be up next here. How about this? There are some energy-saving facts which are actually myths. Installing air conditioners or furnaces rated as energy efficient will automatically save you money. No, that's not true. Not if they're not sized properly. Of course, if you get one that's the proper size, if it's installed properly by qualified technicians, it will, and you use it correctly, it will save you money. You can also, when you install a brand new furnace in particular, you can be tempted to turn the temperature down lower in the summer and higher in the winter because it's that much more efficient, and you end up using exactly the same energy. How about this? An appliance that's turned off isn't using electricity. I think we all know that that's not true. Particularly if you have, as I do, a lot of electronic audio video gear hooked up. All of them have little processors in them, little computers in them, all of which require energy to maintain their little memories and their little instructions. So they're hooked up even when they're turned off. They're drawing power, and you start to add all that up. Do this sometime. Turn off all the lights in your home. Turn off all the appliances in your home. And then go look at your power meter. That little disc, I'll bet it's still spinning around. I'll just bet you. And it's all of those little things that add up. You can, with small appliances and things, you can put them all on a power strip and flip the power strip off and save that. Boy, we had some fun today, didn't we? I really enjoyed it, and thank you in particular for being there for it. It's always a joy. Thank you to our guest, Dr. Andrea Ferrell. It's the holiday season, and I hope you're going to be blessed with the opportunity to be with and enjoy your family. That's what I always look forward to now. And the look on our grandchildren's faces, the lights reflected in their eyes, and the smiles on their faces that prove we are loved by God. This has been The Home Show.